Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Leslie and today is a new quarter for Kendra's Card Challenge. It's number 22 and there's a lot of crafty goodness happening today. It is launch day for this quarter, which means that if you go down below in the description box, there's a playlist with a whole bunch of card making today and lots of chances for a major giveaway. So definitely check out the description box below. Now, I'm making sketch 9 and 10, but I'm showing off the papers that I'm going to be using for the entire set of 15 cards that I will be making this quarter. These are the Sunflower Bees papers from Not Too Shabby, and these 6 sheets that I'm showing you are the sides that I'm going to be working with, and then of course there is the back sides in case something doesn't quite work with my sketch, which I do end up using that green and sunflower one for sketch 10, so you'll see how I use that side instead of the original side because I liked it better for the sketch. I'm also bringing in some sunflower dies from Spellbinders here that I've already started putting together, and then we have a bunch of sentiments from a stamp set from Simon Says Stamp, especially the Sunny Sunshine and Brighten Days, In a World Full of Roses, Be a Sunflower. That's kind of my theme for this quarter's sketches. So let's go ahead and get into sketch 9. Now, I always keep my papers in little baggies here. These are just normal Ziploc bags. I have probably used them for, I think, every set of sketches I have ever made since, I think, KCC 9. So they have definitely gotten a lot of use and we're still going here. So with this sketch, what you want to do is that you actually want to cut out a sheet that is 3 3/4 by 5. That's that white sheet. It's going to be completely hidden once you get your papers on, but it makes it a little bit easier to set up your diagonal papers. Now, this particular one, I actually cut this out because Kendra this quarter has the cutting guides for the mats and layers in her shop. So definitely check that out. And then this is the little, there's an extra little triangle in here that you can see me playing with there. Kendra added this to the cutting guides because if you are like me sometimes and cut a little bit too thin on those strips, you can always add in that little triangle to finish off your card so that you don't have to root around for another little piece. She's already put it there. If you've cut it well enough that you don't have to use it, I will show you at the end of this video how to use it. And if you're hearing my children in the background, I'm so sorry. Let's go ahead and put this sketch together. So I am starting with one of the triangles. That just gives me kind of my angle that I am going for with the diagonal. And then I am making sure that the top corner of that strip lines up with the side of that white cardstock. So then everything will be hidden on the left side by the one strip of paper, and then everything else I line up with the edge of that white paper. So I'm just taking liquid glue for all of this. I want to make sure that I have a little bit of wiggle room just to make sure I'm lining everything up correctly and that I'm not going to see any of the white paper underneath, and I'm not going to have any white spots in between. So again, lining up that top right hand corner of my strip along the white edge and then making sure everything is flush with the line in front of it. Now, after I am done gluing everything on, I will take a scissors and cut off all the excess. There will be a little bit of an excess there, but like I said, that other triangle that you see in the top right hand corner of the screen, that's for if you've accidentally cut your papers a little bit too thin. Some people like to cut a little bit over, some people like to cut a little bit under. That's just an extra piece to make it flush with the entire page. So I'm just cutting off all the excess here. There's also another little triangle for me, which I could use it the same way I'm about to use the other one at the end of this video. I'll show you what I do with it. It can also go into your little scrap bins to be used as kind of like foam tape or any kind of bump up thing, or you can just put it inside your card or anything like that. So we're gonna get this glued on, and there will be a little bit of bending here, but because I have so much pattern paper, it's not super noticeable. This pattern paper is pretty decently thick, so it covers very, very well. And then that is the sketch. You put your circles on, you put it on a card base. That's the main sketch. I'm going to go a little bit further and add a peel off from Love from Lizzie. This is just the gold stripe. I'm just adding it along the side there just to give a little bit more bling. Now, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. I'm just doing it to add a little bit more bling. Kendra always says these sketches are starting off points, so you're supposed to be making it your own. That's how I'm doing that today, by adding just a little peel off there, just so it's a cleaner edge for my eye. Now on the back, we're just going to use some liquid glue, and we are going to get this card front onto my card base. So if you are new to cards by Kendra's her quarterly challenges, what it is that Kendra creates 15 unique card sketches using 6 sheets of 6x6 paper. She gives us all the cutting guides and the sketches for free. You just have to become a free Patreon member of hers, and that information is down below. And then if you make all 15 cards, you can be entered into giveaways, which there's monthly giveaways. If you do more than one set of cards, you can do one set each month. And then there's also quarterly giveaways at the end of the quarter, which has a lot of giveaways, and you can be entered for that as well. So I'm just using some more glue to get that onto my final card base here. I'm just using some white because it goes along with my cards very, very well. You could use a whole nother cardstock there, and then I'm showing you, this is how the sketch looks. So the has a little bit of that white on blue circles. I'm actually taking that white circle off because my flower completely covers it, and so that way I can use that layer for a different card. So I'm just going to go ahead and get my sunflower onto that circle and then glue it onto my card. I did use foam tape in between my sunflower layers. I do have about 3 layers on that sunflower, so it has a lot of dimension, but these cards are going to be handed out by hand instead of going through the mail, so I'm not really worried about any kind of extra cost. If you were making this card and you wanted to send it through the mail, I would suggest not using any foam tape, just because it gets a little bulky even without the foam tape. So I'm figuring out which sentiment I want to use on this one, and I'm going with the Sending Love and Sunshine, just because the one about in a world full of roses being a sunflower, it didn't quite fit for what I was going for. So we're just going to go ahead and glue that down, and I could use foam tape there and bump it up, but I decided just to glue it straight down. That way my flower is kind of my real focus, and then we're going to just add some gems to this card and it will be all done. Now this is launch day, so there is a whole playlist down below with all the sketches being made and a few videos of cutting guides and sketches being made, so lots to see. And then you can also enter giveaways on every single video, so be listening for the catchphrase on each video so that you can enter on each one that you watch. So let's move on to sketch 10, and I'm getting out my all my papers again. My my little bag was upside down, but this is sketch 10, and my cutting was a little bit off with this one. It didn't quite fit the 1-inch circle, and then I decided I didn't quite like that paper with that anyway, so I ended up finding some scrap paper and made my circle there. And then these are all the different pieces I'm going to be using. I did emboss one of my cardstocks just to give it a little bit extra, and the 2 different shades of green match the 2 different shades of green on the leaves. So this was the original side of the paper, the blue, and that would have worked really well too. I just decided I really like the green and I wanted to go with that because it matches the green leaves that I'll be using with my sunflower for the focal point. So I'm going to go ahead and use some tape adhesive. My glue was starting to struggle with me. I think I need to refill it, and that takes time. And I wanted to get going. So Like I said, there is a giveaway going on today, and you can enter on every single video. Just fill out the form below. My catchphrase for my video is triangle trays. The question is, what crafty tool do you use the most? And I actually use my triangle trays every single card to hold all my sequins or any kind of small die cuts or anything like that. So triangle trays is my phrase. So back to sketch 10, I'm bringing in some glue. At that point, I had filled it a little bit more just to get some of these pieces down just because they're a little bit smaller. There is some texture on that light green piece, so I want to make sure that my white cardstock adheres well to it and really seeps into all the little grooves. And then with embossing papers, I always want to use glue for that, just to kind of fill in all the little valleys and mountains we got going on there and make sure that it adheres well to my pattern paper. So like I said, you can get all the entire quarter's cutting guides and sketches for free becoming a Patreon member of Kendra's, but there's also a lot of good bonuses if you decide to become a paying member. Things like getting mystery card making kits or the SVG files. There's also the mats and layers files now in her store, so definitely check that out. There's monthly bonus printables, there's printer friendly challenge PDF, there's community chats, the weekly newspaper inspiration, handmade card gift, just all kinds of fun stuff, even a discount in the shop if you're a higher paying member. So there's lots of different tiers. There's bronze, which is supporter, silver, gold, and platinum. All kinds of fun bonuses if you want to support Kendra and what she does and help keep everything running smoothly for her. So now that I have all of those pattern papers and everything glued on, I am working on my sunflower, just kind of how I'm setting it up in this white space. You could do like a pretty stamp here and color it, or you can bring in some ephemera, whatever matches your scene. I'm using these sunflowers that I have die cut just because I'm okay with any kind of bulk and I want to really make a statement with them. Plus, I really like putting them together. I'm a huge sunflower fan. It's actually my favorite flower. So this set of cards are just right up my alley. And when I saw this pattern paper from Not Too Shabby, I had to snatch it right away. I believe it was actually one of their paper pad clubs. And I decided to subscribe that day. So we're just going to head and get those leaves all the way glued down. I'm making sure they're a little bit different sizes there, and then I'm going to add some foam tape to my sentiment. We're going to use the same sentiment that we used on sketch 9. I'm going to put it down in the lower left hand corner, kind of cover up where that sunflower ends there, and then we're going to add some sequins a little bit more to add some bling. I wanted to bring in a lot of the blue since it wasn't on this particular card a whole lot. Now, as you can see, triangle tray. I use them every single card. That's why it's my favorite crafty tool that I use the most. Showing you right here, using it with a card. So I'm just gluing down all those sequins right now. I'm just doing 5. These are little sparkly ones. I kept getting it stuck to my finger. But that is sketch number 10, and that is my final card. So today I made sketches 9 and 10 of Kendra's Card Challenge 22. Like I said, double check down below for all the information about this quarter's sketches. And then I'm going to take this triangle that was left over and I'm going to put it inside my card as a little bit of decoration for the inside. I always forget to do the inside, and anytime I actually have an excuse to do it and be reminded to do it, it's fantastic. So isn't that pretty? Oh, I love it. It finishes the card. Beautiful. So definitely check out down below with the playlist for all the sketches today. Make sure you enter the giveaway on each video. Everyone will have a different crafty phase. Again, mine is triangle trays. So I hope you have a great day. I hope you play along with us for this quarter. It goes from April 1st to June 30th. And there's going to be lots of crafty inspiration and all kinds of fun stuff these following months. So make sure you are watching on all the socials. I will see you in another video soon. Have a great day. Bye.